Hey guys, welcome to the neighborhood. This is the Pixel Street Podcast, episode 142. Joel's away, so we got just a bunch of idiots around here
the
that
kids
just
will play.
fuck
Is that
around
how you-
and
Yeah.
gain all the views and everything.
Don't play
'cause
with
you love
kids.
us.
Don't fuck around with kids.
That yes, good advice. We're starting out right.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
your host for this week, John Hansen. I am joined by the one and only Connor Kopp. Connor, how's it going?
That's me. It's great, man. I had a fantastic day today. I've been having the urge a lot recently to actually play video games, which was real cool because I lost that for a while, and I'm catching up on some of that backlog, and I'm excited to talk about it. So
All right, yeah. Sooner or later,
yeah.
we'll actually get back into It Takes Two.
I know,
Right.
man. Listen, that game's so good too. It's
brilliant.
yeah. Well, we can talk more about that later. Continue intros and all that. Yeah.
And joining us from Respawn Aim Fire, we have Chad Mike Innes. How's it going, Chad?
Hola, Coca-Cola. That's Spanish for hello. Coca-Cola.
That's now I know one more Spanish word than I knew earlier today, and
Coca-Cola?
Yeah, who
I've
knew?
accomplished
Coca-Cola's
something.
Universal.
That's honestly.
All right.
Actually, I wonder if it is
Wait,
different
hang
in
on,
any other
hold up.
language.
No, I have a real question. Have you tried the Coca-Cola coffee? Because it's terrible.
Well,
Disgusting.
coffee in general
Get
is
any type of
nasty.
coffee flavored anything out of my mouth.
Ooh, God, you just made a lot of internet people angry. Let's move on.
Coffee's terrible. Like, I just don't know.
Yeah,
Boom.
honestly, I don't drink coffee either.
Yes, thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
it's all gamer juice over here.
This week, we will be discussing...
Only Mountain Dew.
This week, we will be discussing the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart State of Play that appeared earlier. Super Mario Party doing some weird things 2.5 years after its launch. And a little talk of The Last of Us Part 3. But before we get to that, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. First, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street or search for us on Facebook. Our show goes live every Friday on your podcast platform of choice, and you can now become a Pixel Street pal by joining our Discord server, where we have a bunch of, what do we call them? Pixel Street Pal Party Nights. We had our April Pal Party Night last Friday, where we watched Mortal Kombat, and it was a good time. Lots of fun. Chad, you guys
We also
watched
have
it too,
we
right?
have a channel where you can post pictures of your dog too. So if you didn't have incentive enough, that's really important.
If you have a lot of pictures of John's dog,
yes,
you can post them in this channel.
please
Do it.
Yeah, don't. We legally can't tell him though, so we got to scrub this from the internet. Just,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah, you guys watched that. I caught up on that recently. What are your hot thoughts? Like, give me your 10-second review of the Mortal Kombat movie. No spoilers, John.
It was good. Could have been better. It's a crime that there was no Johnny Cage.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I should have said spoilers. That's on me. Chad, go.
Lots of giggles, plenty of guts. Laughed through my nuts.
Also, Cole sucks.
Laugh. That rhymed unintentionally, and I'm upset about it, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, I would say, wow, incredible that this got made and nobody went, should we? Yeah, that movie's a strange thing. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
You don't like it?
No.
Like straight up, you're on the bad side of it.
I thought about it, and I think it's
Wrong side
got
of
some
history.
like fun action porn elements to it. Like it's the Fast and Furious movies, right? Like you watch it because it's dumb, and I think there's value in that. Don't get me wrong, but holy crap, were the old ones so much better? Am I wrong in that?
Yeah, you're wrong in that.
That's
The old ones were
come on,
horseshit.
man.
There was nothing,
Ugh.
literally nothing redeeming about the old Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay,
The first
you're
one
gonna
was
tell
good,
me
man. I really
that
like the first
hideous
one still.
puppet
Yeah.
Goro is bad. That's you can't listen. It's one of the greatest achievements in film. Carry on, John. I don't want to get mad about.
All
this
I'm gonna
anymore.
say is I liked the movie, but it definitely had some bad choices. Some really
Where the
head
fuck was
scratchers.
Johnny Cage, man?
Hollywood.
Like,
But also,
Probably out there using
also
his
they have
uppercut.
Melina, but no Katana. When Melina is literally a clone
Yeah.
of Katana.
right? Yeah.
Maybe
that,
she wasn't cloned yet.
what was
Then
the
how
name
was
of the
Melina there?
flying-
I don't know. I know nothing about Mortal Kombat, which is why I enjoyed it too. So,
Oh, oh, I get it. You're not
like
a
half
gamer.
the people in the movie, I was like, "Who is that?"
No,
I think I saw him in a trailer once. Yeah.
there was some really good stuff in there. We'll see. Hopefully, the next one.
Did I kill him as Batman in that one game I played for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right, back to our housekeeping. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. Search up Pixel Street Videos. You'll get to see the video version of this podcast there if you're not listening to us on Spotify or other areas. What have we put up lately? I put up some guides in both MLB The Show 21 and Second Extinction, which I will talk about later. And Joel's been doing a little streaming on there. I know he played some Second Extinction on there. He might have played some more baseball in there as well.
Yeah, you guys got a good series going right now too, where your place is it best of 5?
Best of 3.
Best of 3. Yeah, a good series where John and Joel are doing some MLB shenanigans. So if you want to see some of that, it's there. You can watch it on demand without paying for a subscription, and it's the power of the internet, baby.
Whoa! Can
Yeah.
I bundle it with my cable?
No, we're strictly
Can I pay
against
AT&T
cable here.
extra money to let me watch that free
Cut
content?
the cord.
You
Get
know,
it out of here.
listen, I know a guy at AT&T. Just send me that money, and I'll make sure it gets in the right hands. Yeah.
I love you, Connor. Thank you.
That's,
Yeah.
No, anything for you. Yes.
All right, let's talk about some video games here. First up,
Yeah.
we have the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart State of Play. Well, I guess it wasn't just Ratchet and Clank. They had like 45 seconds of showing Among Us coming to PS4 and PS5, and then also the new Subnautica. Is that a whole new game, or is that an add-on?
I don't know. I'm not really
yeah.
familiar with Subnautica.
I don't
I'll
either.
find
I saw
that.
it and I was like, oh, Subnautica. I've heard that word before.
Yeah.
And then I was like, at the end of it, I was like, why was it there?
Yeah, this easily should have been just a Ratchet and Clank show. Like, there was no real reason to have Among Us or Subnautica in there. I guess they showed off the Ratchet and
Okay,
Clank
there's
skin.
an Among Us skin.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
but, like-
a Ratchet and Clank skin for Among Us. So
Yeah,
I see the time.
I guess that justifies it. I don't know. Whatever.
So just backtracking to what we were talking about a second ago, Subnautica Below Zero is indeed a sequel to Subnautica, not a tie-in DLC or anything like that. So if you're into underwater fun, then I guess you get to do more of it.
Cool.
And a new
I'm
game.
not.
Tell them that sequels generally have 2 in the title.
That, you know,
That's how you know it's a sequel.
it's
They
a
should have
different
named it
world
Subnautica
underwater.
2 Below.
That's below 2?
Subnautica.
2 Below
Ah, there it is.
What?
There it is. Somebody call the marketing department.
0. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's focus on Ratchet and Clank here because holy
Sure.
shit, that game looks amazing. That's that's just like the short
Yeah.
version of it. There was about 15 minutes of gameplay that they showed off. They showed Ratchet playing, and then also the new woman character Rivet, who is voiced by Jennifer Hale. If you don't know who that is, she's the voice of female Shepard from Mass Effect and also Ash in Overwatch, and she is amazing.
Oh. Yeah,
she
those
is-
are some credentials.
She is a brilliant voice actress. But yeah, we saw Ratchet like picking himself up, looking for Clank, and then also Rivet working alongside Clank, and they're bouncing through different realities and everything. Game looks absolutely gorgeous. The first thing I noticed was Ratchet's fur, because like in the past,
Oh my god, right?
it's always been like that cartoony thing where they don't actually like show the fur, but it's just like a flat surface kind of. Here, you
Yeah,
actually
a flat
see, like,
texture.
yeah,
Yeah.
you see all of the fur.
Yeah, I just wanted to like cuddle up with him and take a nap.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
do look really
cuddly and
fuzzy.
fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that.
But yeah, Chad, what did you think watching this?
I came into this not caring about Ratchet and Clank at all. I have no association with the franchise. Never played a game before. I like Spider-Man, so Insomniac's cool. But I came in as being like, this is gonna be. Oh, do you have a Spider-Man up there?
I've got a
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Very good.
I've got Venom.
So I came into this saying, nah, I guess I'll watch this 15-minute state of play if it's gonna be all Ratchet and Clank. And I left. I think I described this earlier, and I posted this on your Twitter. If you think about a really long balloon, you know, the long stretchy ones, and you start to blow it up just like maybe a third of the way, and you get like that really tight bubble in the beginning. That's where I am right now. Like there's a lot left to fill.
I was wondering what you
really
meant by
tight
that.
third of a balloon
So thanks
animal.
for explaining
A
that.
tight third.
I was
I'd
very
call it
confused.
full
Incredible.
chub.
Full. Yeah.
Yeah, no. The thing that amazed me the most about this is just the way that what they're able to pull off with the PlayStation 5 with the ray tracing and the reflections of everything and the lighting was fucking. Sorry, I just do I curse on
Go
this?
for
I
it.
don't
Yeah,
remember.
fuck them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're on YouTube. It doesn't matter.
That fucking lighting was amazing. And there was a part where he was like running through, and there was like this purple gooey, whatever. They were like taking hot tub baths or mud pit baths or whatever,
something like that.
but you could see all the little tiny lights all around the outside of it that were reflecting off of the ceiling and shit. Oh my god! So that alone, I think, just the lighting and Ratchet's fur, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah. I think really the thing that impressed me the most is just the show off of the SSD, just loading those levels as you jump in between realities. It's just it's seamless. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And you've got that tether thing that you can like shoot out and pull the rifts towards you so you can jump through them and everything. So cool,
God,
man.
watching that was like, it made me almost sick a little bit watching it.
Right?
Like, because you're not jumping to that spot. That spot is being pulled
you're
to
pulling
you.
it to you, yeah.
And my brain was just like, I don't know how to process this. I'm going to throw up. And it was awesome.
Yeah. Connor's a loser, though, and didn't watch the State of Play, so I don't know. Do you have anything to say?
Those are two separate
no,
facts.
shut up. Yes, I do have things to say. Shocker, I'm on the internet. I'm flicking through some of this footage right now, and yeah, you're spot on. The lighting is absurd. That's kind of the first thing you notice. All the explosions, all the kind of reactions, everything is detailed in all the surfaces. But aside from that, there's really two things that are sticking out to me here that kind of interest me a little more than anything else with this, and that's the hit reaction is just very clean and crisp with everything that hits any of the enemies in the area or any explosion that happens. Like, everything is reacting to what you're doing, and I appreciate that level of detail. It's something you come to expect out of, studios like Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch, the guys over at Ghost of Tsushima, that kind of stuff, which is great. And then also, and then the other thing that I noticed is that all of the worlds are incredibly packed full, and they feel alive. Like, all of the backgrounds have spaceships and cars and stuff zipping and zapping all around the place. There's always something going on, and it just makes it feel like you're not a main character trudging through something, but you're in a living, breathing world that you're interacting with. And watching, I'm seeing Ratchet stroll through some of the town stuff right now, and everybody's got their own thing that they're doing, man. It's the dream that we wanted in Grand Theft Auto, games like that, just cartoon style this time. So it looks cool. I don't know, I'm not super into this level of character action or platformer. That's definitely a little bit more your wheelhouse, John, but I'm interested enough to play it. I mean, anything that pushes the envelope forward, really. And I think that's what this is, and what this will do to the industry, is say, hey, like, we've got some sweet tech over here. Even if you're not a fan of Ratchet and Clank, look at what the studio pulled off. Pulling that rift to you is super sick moment. I just watched that on screen here. But just seeing a full living, breathing world in this scale with no loading screen, you're diving right into it. It's super cool, and I hope that this is where we're headed. I hope we're here.
Yeah. No, you can, as you said, they definitely took another step forward with this. When you compare this to the PS4 Ratchet and Clank, it's night and day, the differences that you see, especially in the environment. It's really insane to see. Insomniac is one of my favorite game studios of all time. I absolutely love them. I've loved them since the early Spyro days. So I'm of the mind they could do no wrong. Like, they could have put something way less polished out than this, and I'd been like, oh, this is amazing. But just the level of detail and everything, the voice acting everywhere seems great so far. The living world part is really what got me as well. Like you said, when they show him like looking around the city and there's flying cars everywhere and the marketplace is just filled with people. And then there's another part with Rivet where she's like walking forward and they're in the jungle area and you see all these creatures just like running past her and everything. It was really, really cool. Some great stuff.
You know what upsets me though?
What's up?
There's a part in this demo. I assume this game's going to be rated E for everyone. Maybe E10 if they're going to get a little risque. There's a part in this demo where these kids have to walk into the club. And in the club, there are all these robots dancing up on each other. We don't want to introduce that to our children
You're right.
and poison their brain. Like, that is inappropriate.
Well, here,
Yeah,
before you
yeah.
go anywhere, let me just read off some past Ratchet and Clank game titles for you. Because, okay, hold on.
Touche.
All right.
Touche.
Let me find it real quick.
Ratchet and Clank, 69th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, so you've got
Ratchet and Clank do Dallas. Yeah.
You got Ratchet and
Ratchet
Clank
and
going
Spank.
commando. Ratchet and Clank up your arsenal. What else we got here? Ratchet and Clank size matters.
You know, that's a phrase I've heard.
Ratchet and Clank the quest for booty.
But booty is treasure.
I suddenly am now a Ratchet and Clank fan, just like that. Yeah,
Yes.
I have been converted.
Yes.
My,
No,
There you
eternal
go. I'll
quest,
give you
yeah.
I'll give you a balloon animal balloon.
Yeah. There you
That's
We
yeah.
can be-
I'm I'm 1/3 of the way blown up, baby. You know, give me what's next.
Nah, just finishing things off though. Ratchet and Clank is great. Quick shout out to Chad's friend Holden DePardo. He also says, "Can't wait, so pumped for Ratchet
That
and
guy,
Clank."
his balloon popped.
Did it?
Big Ratchet and Clank stan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say real quick, I am kind of wondering if they're gonna bring any like real differences between Ratchet and Rivet playing, because from what we saw here, they looked very similar. It looked like they didn't have
Yeah.
all the same weapons and everything, but like, so Clank is with Rivet, not Ratchet. So to make up for that, they gave Ratchet like these hover boots, which is cool and everything, but they at least in the early part here, they look like they just did the same function as Clank anyway, just like the little hover down thing that he does. So it's like, is there like really any difference to playing them? That's kind of what I'm waiting to see, but otherwise,
I gotta
looks
say,
great.
there's something about this dash that makes me incredibly uncomfortable. Have you
Really?
noticed it?
I loved it.
That dash was so cool.
Where they
man.
dash and it's like little ghost
Yeah.
holograms of them.
Yes.
Not holograms, but like
Yeah, they said something.
After images, yeah.
They
Echoes.
in the narrator gave like a little hint that he's actually like going out of the reality, like he's not existing for a moment as he's doing that.
Huh.
So that's
Okay,
why it's
if
doing
you know, if there's a lore explanation, I guess it's okay.
there is, yeah. He talks to someone and it gives him some kind of equipment that lets him
Weirdo
like, mess with.
device.
Yeah,
Oh, you just the Titanfall 2 time travel armband. Sweet. Yeah.
yeah,
I got you.
whatever.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
They're all
Nintendo is really fucking weird sometimes, guys.
Yes.
Super
All the
Mario
time.
Party out of nowhere this week got online play, which is odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can play the main Mario Party board game style in Super Mario Party now online. Up to 4 people, just traditional Mario Party. This is 2.5 years after the game released. This is the first update for the game it has gotten since it released. And we're also a year past the pandemic starting, when this would have been really nice to have. So,
Yeah.
Chad, do you have any Mario Party history or anything?
Yeah, I played the first few as a kid on the Nintendo 64 and had
So
a
good.
grand old time.
So good.
I was really excited for Super Mario Party when they announced it because it's no longer a number; it's Super Mario Party. It's like, oh, something's gonna be
And
new
it wasn't
different.
9 or 10, which is the
And
important thing.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a letdown. There were 4 stages, there were 4 boards, and I was like, okay. And then there was no online play. I was thinking, oh man, maybe we'll get extra stages as DLC or something.
Would've made sense.
Nothing. And then
We
2.5
had,
years later, when this game is dead in everyone's brains, they're like, hey, you want to play it together? No, we killed that thing. It's buried.
Right. It's done. It's over. Flash in the pan.
Everyone's playing Mario Kart now.
Did Smash Brothers Ultimate come out before this? Is that or was it after?
It'd be
I'm just trying to
be a few
remember what
months
it
after,
felt
I
like.
think.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what it felt like when it released, because like you said, I mean, the expectation was that maybe this would be something a little bit bigger. You saw what they did with Breath of the Wild and how they kind of reinvented the series, and I think everybody wants them to reinvent everything now, of course. But it was that expectation that this was going to be kind of the definitive experience, and the lack of online play, honestly, is kind of what killed it for me immediately. If I couldn't get on and play with other people straight away, then what's the point? It's super hard to play on a small device on the go with multiple players, and God, every Joy-Con controller I ever own will drift perpetually into infinity, and so getting 4 Joy-Cons and playing on a TV is not necessarily the easiest answer either. So, um, yeah, this would have been great a while ago. My question is, why now? What's the point? Like, was somebody just hanging out in a basement and said, "Hey, I updated Super Mario Party. Can we push this live?" And that's what they did, or was it something that they felt they had to do, or was in the pipeline before? But like, really, like, why do this? Why spend the resources? Why spend the time? Do you think this points to anything?
It kind of goes against my prediction that I think Super Mario Party 2 is coming this year.
Oh, sure.
That's something
Yeah.
I've really been hoping for, because yeah, I really enjoy Super Mario Party. It was a return to form for the franchise. 9 and 10 were awful. They were really bad, and we needed to get away
It's
from
not
the car
bad,
bullshit.
yeah.
We needed to get away from the
Right.
car bullshit. We needed to return to its roots, which they do with this game. Like, they even do the
Yeah.
the original Mario Party opening where everyone's arguing about who's a superstar. Like, that's amazing. And I was
Right.
glad. I like the stages for the most part. They're all pretty much the same. They're just little
It's
cubicles.
good enough.
There's
Yeah.
there's nothing there's nothing amazing about any of the stages. They get the job done. It would have been really nice to get some new boards though, because that would have been so much better than what we got. But I think Super Mario Party is one of the best. When it uses motion controls, it's like one of the best games to ever use motion control in my mind. It does it so smart with some of its mini games and other aspects of it that it's really fun, really good. It works well. That's why I was hoping for Super Mario Party 2. I was like, okay, this is kind of just the beginning stages, and then the next one you get your online, you get your more maps, you get everything where you just expand
the
on
Super
it.
Mario Maker 2 of Super
Yeah.
Mario Parties.
Yeah, you just make
Yeah.
it better in every way. The news that this is coming out kind of like it makes me think, well, okay, are they even working on Super Mario Party 2? Because why would they focus on this now if they had that in the wings?
You know what it makes me think though? If so, the release date thing that Connor brought up made me think. All right, when did this release? When did the online service come out? And it was 2018. So the online service shipped even late after it had been delayed in September 2018. This released October 2018. And then aside from Splatoon 2, Smash was the first thing that really used the service in December. of
Sure,
2018.
yeah.
And so my assumption is that like that game was developed, Super Mario Party was developed without the thought of online at all.
Pre-online.
Like, they didn't even have a service, let alone know how to use it. They still don't know how to
I
use
honestly completely forgot that the Switch just didn't have online for
Yeah.
a lengthy amount of time. That's absurd to think about.
it. Yeah.
Well,
For a
it
year
had
and a
it,
half.
but it wasn't what we know of
But
it
it
today.
was hot trash. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
Right.
it still is.
But then
We're just
that makes
the only
me-
difference is we're paying for it, Connor.
Now you pay for it. You pay to get abused by the internet instead of doing it for free anymore.
Real
Right.
quick though,
I wonder if they're using this as like a test bed for Super Mario Party 2.
I would hope
And maybe
so.
for Super Mario
Yeah.
Party 2, they're like, are we going to do online play? I don't know. We have this product that's already out that we can test it with and see if it works. And if it doesn't, the stakes aren't super high because no one's playing it anyway.
Right.
And so maybe it's like a.
well, that's the
can we
thing.
get it to
Super
work
Mario Party
remotely?
is sold bonkers. It is in the
Yeah.
top 10 for all Switch
I mean,
games
it's no
sold.
Mario Kart.
What?
It's no Mario Kart.
Nothing's Mario Kart because Mario Kart is number 1 on the list. But it is in that list. Like, that is insane to think about with a Super Mario Party game. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, you think
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, like those are the games where you're like, oh yeah, these are must buys. You look at Super Mario Party, and you're like, yeah, I could have some fun with that with my daughter. That's awesome, and it's a great time. I think it's brilliant. If you haven't bought it for your Switch, you definitely should, because man, is it.
It's
really
got
good
online
time.
now. I don't know if you heard.
And it's
you know.
got online now. Yeah, play with us. Let's get a game going.
When did that happen?
Let's get a game
Oh,
going
man.
and play it.
I'd have to buy that thing again.
Yes.
Where can I? Is it like $60 at GameStop still? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're talking about Nintendo here, Connor.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I haven't given the online a try yet, but I just hope it's playable, because the online that was in Super Mario Party before, you could only play like a select few mini games against people, and it was hot garbage. Have you ever played Super Mario Maker 2 online, where it just stutters the entire time you try and do anything?
Oh, I've seen that. Yes, I've seen it.
That's what Super Mario
the worst
Party
thing I've
was.
ever watched.
That's
I've never wanted to throw up so bad
Yes.
at a video game as Mario Maker 2 online. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Super Mario Party was the same way. So hopefully it's better now. I'm not holding my breath, but I do want to give it a try, because I really enjoy that game.
So, okay, last question, and then we can move on. I give you $1 million. I put a gun to your head, okay, and I say
Pull the
you
trigger.
can only have this money. Well, that's not an option, okay?
Damn it.
I don't want to go down for murder. Disregard the gun. I'm holding a pasta thing to your head. I don't know,
Strangle
dog.
me.
Yeah, it's a Pringles can. I'm gonna beat you up with a Pringles can, and I say I'll give you $1 million.
This is the
but
way I
you-
want to go.
It's 1/3 full. The rest of it's air. So I say, listen, you have to put this money on a bet, and I give you the choice of either Super Mario Party 2 releases first, or okay, you can also bet your $1 million. And if you win, you get to keep it. You lose, you get nothing, and I beat you with a Pringles can. 1/3 full. Okay, very important. The other option is another update comes out for Super Mario Party 1. Which one happens first? Super Mario Party 2
Super Mario Party
or
2,
another
easy.
Okay, all right. I have a Pringles can ready. I'll
All
be
right,
waiting.
let's do it.
Yeah.
I purposely chose the wrong one.
You're going to
Yes.
eat sour
Third
cream
of a
and
can
onion,
of Pringles, I
motherfucker.
can't wait.
Yeah. What are Pringle flavors? That's a different podcast. Let's move on.
I mean, they're just normal potato chip. Okay.
Is that
They're
barbecue?
crisps, technically.
Yeah, there's a barbecue one.
They don't call them
Sure.
potato chips because they're not actually like slices of potatoes. They're just like a bunch
Oh.
of potato pulp mashed into a shape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they are excellent fire starters. Learn
Since you
in
know
Girl
that,
Scouts.
can you explain why the can is so thin and I always get my hand stuck in it when I eat Pringles?
Because here's the thing: the people who design the Pringles can care more about the merchandise than the consumer. Because
That's-
they're excellent at protecting the chips. They're
That is
terrible
true.
at eating them.
I
don't
get to the
care
point
about
where
you.
I
Pringles
like
doesn't
grab
care about
something
you.
and if it's like a quarter of a can left, instead of just like tipping it over and dumping it out, I grab something and I mash it and break up all the chips and then I just slide it down.
Are you a serial killer?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? Somebody needs to examine that. That's
I prefer the
fucked up.
term genius. Okay, I was
Sure.
given a modern problem.
Yeah, I got
and
the
I solved it with
MacArthur
a
serial
modern
killer grant.
solution.
Yeah. You're presented with a problem. How do I get these chips out of this tiny hole that I can't fit my hand in? And your solution is to bring the biggest rock you can find instead of just turn it upside down or
Yes.
dump it in a bowl. Like there were a million solutions that would have been
psycho
better.
Pringles in a
eats
bowl,
chips
though?
out of a bowl?
No.
You could do that. I'm
No.
not saying you have. You can, it's just an option.
Party
man.
bowl, maybe,
I-
if you're
There-
looking
yeah,
to spread disease
okay.
around.
But if I'm just
Sure,
sitting on my
yeah.
couch
Well, that's-
and I have
I mean,
a
that's
thing
post-COVID.
of Pringles, I'm not gonna stand up and go get a bowl just to eat some Pringles.
Pour it
You're
in
gonna
your
send it to
lap.
the rock.
I don't know, man. I'm not your fucking parents.
Obviously,
Do
you
whatever
are
you
because
want.
you're against me eating Pringles
Listen,
the way I
okay.
eat them.
Hey, are you wearing shoes or slippers or anything? Because
Why
you
would
have a
I wear
container for
shoes or
Pringles.
slippers? We're in a pandemic.
You can what does that have to do with shoes or slippers?
I don't
Maybe
go
your
anywhere,
socks.
Connor.
Let's
You could be
compromise.
like
Let's
a-
compromise. We'll put
Yeah.
bowls on all the end tables in the living room, and then you don't have to worry about getting up at all.
Dude,
You just have
okay,
to be a psychopath
invention.
eating out of a bowl.
Listen, we're gonna take. We gotta pitch this to the Pringles company. Okay, it's gonna be a Pringles can on one side, just normal ass Pringles can, stick on the top and everything. We're just gonna glue a bowl to the other side of it. What does it accomplish? Absolutely nothing, but there's a bowl on the other side of your Pringles can.
But here's the thing: we glue the bowl upside down on the bottom of
Hey!
it, so that you have to pour them out and then quickly move the. It's like the ball and cup,
And then re-add
you gotta move
them.
the bowl.
I'm all
Yeah.
about this. Let's do
You
it.
have to like throw it in the air and then like, you know, pull your arm down to like, you know.
Yep.
That's fantastic. I have calls to make after this.
All right. So welcome to the Pixel Street Podcast, where we talk about Pringles all day.
Yeah. What are your Pringles problems? I'll solve them. You're not going to be happy with the solution, but I'll solve them.
All right.
You know?
Moving on, talking about either, in your mind, the best video game ever or the absolute worst. The Last of Us Part 3 story outline has been written, but the game is a very long ways off. Yeah, this is just kind of an update on where things stand over at Naughty Dog. Pretty much they said, it's written up. Like, we have a good idea of where we're going with the storyline, but they haven't actually like started production on the game or anything. So it's gonna be a
I think
long.
his quote was like, "I hope we get to make it."
Right. So he literally came out and said, he being Neil Druckmann, head of Naughty Dog, he came out and said that I don't even know if this is something we're going to do. Like, we just made an outline that could be a possibility in a future scenario, but I don't even know if this thing ever sees the light of day. So, you know, this isn't confirmation that Last of Us Part 3 is coming, and
It's coming at some
you know,
point.
I mean, you know, it probably will. If
They're
we're
making
honest,
a remake
you know.
of the first game already.
Yeah.
It's
okay,
coming
but they
at some
already
point.
made a remake. It's a remake of a remake of a remake, basically, at this point.
And I'll buy it again.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Chad, what
you're
did you
right.
think
I
of
don't-
Part 2? Where do you want that story to go in Part 3?
Part 2, I thought, was one of the greatest pieces of media ever created. It is, I think, the best video game, and it's amazing. I don't want a number 3. I have my ideas of what happens afterwards, and I think that that's what I want from it. But I said the same exact thing about Last of Us Part 1 after they announced Part 2. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I want my story to end with Joel and Ellie as it did, and that relationship.
That's pretty much what I was
Turns
saying.
out Part 2 is the best thing that ever happened to me. So
It's the Star
I'm
Wars
sure 3
problem.
will be the same.
Right. So the production time on these takes so long. I mean, it's something that's going to be a 6-7 year process, probably, from start to finish, when they really start the conceptual period of things to when there's an actual finished product. And what you get in there is people get attached to the story that's been told, and in lieu of anything else, they create their own headcanon, and they solve these problems for themselves, and they say, well, my thought is, you know, they go on and do this afterwards, or they go on and do this, or, you know, in it becomes this uniquely individual experience where everybody played the same game but ended up with a different takeaway or a different thought on what they think ends up happening. And it's what we saw happen with Star Wars. So when you get the new movies, like, everybody's unhappy because, like, well, no, Jar Jar married fucking Anakin, motherfucker. What are you talking about? And you know, there's somebody, I swear to God, there is somebody on this planet that was so into Jar Jar. There's fan art. Listen, Rule 34, we could go on. But yeah, anyway, people get so attached to this stuff, and they really kind of make it their own after a certain while. And I think that means that you're never going to have a product that makes everybody happy, but that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. You know, and that's where Last of Us 2 lands for me. I do think it's an incredible piece of media. I think it's arguably one of the most impressive accomplishments we've ever seen in the games industry. And I'm still relatively unhappy with large parts of it. And I have to recognize it's because of what I envisioned these characters doing. Like, when I played, everything was from my point of view. So it was very much like, well, what do I think the characters would do next? Or what would I do next, in a way? And for me, that's where Last of Us Part 3 is. And for that reason, I don't want it to talk about Joel, Ellie, Abby, or any of them. I would love to see a completely removed experience, you know? Give me something on the other side of the country. Give me something in a different country. You know, I want to see what's happening. I want you to build that world more, because I think that there is a lot of value there and still a lot of tales to tell. But I don't think you have to return to the same vehicle to do it. So Yeah, cool news. But let Naughty Dog do Naughty Dog. They pretty much can't do any wrong. I think the Uncharted series is incredible, and I don't think they need anybody to tell them what to do, whether it be Last of Us Part 3 or so on and so forth. So, yeah, maybe we'll see that video game, and maybe it's something that not everybody hates.
Yeah, yeah. I fall in the middle. Like, I think The Last of Us Part 2 is half of a brilliant story. It's so great.
I think
And
it's
then
too long.
It's definitely too long. The second half of
long.
that game deserved to be its own game if you're going to go that
pretty
route.
much.
Or something. I did not like that at all. But yeah, I think it's half of a very great masterpiece. I think going forward, you got to stick with Ellie. She's just too iconic along the series to just move away from her. And man, we're gonna if you don't know spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2, it's been a year now. I don't care. We're talking about it. I want Ellie to just fucking kill Abby because I hate Abby. Okay.
Man.
Oh my god, you hate Abby?
Yes.
He's one of those.
I love
You're
Laura
one of
Bailey.
them?
I love Laura Bailey. I think she did an amazing job.
Do you think Joe Biden drinks baby blood out of a Pizza Hut?
Yes. But no.
Are you one of those people?
My problem with it is everyone's all around.
Pizza Hut?
Everyone's all around this
Pizza
idea that Abby is like justified in her quest for revenge, and yeah, she hunted down Joel and killed him. Yeah, that's right, girl power, blah blah blah. She's buff and everything. She's a killing machine.
This just in, John hates women.
But then you look at
that's what I'm
Ellie,
getting from this.
who's doing the same thing. She's hunting down Abby because she killed her father figure, and everyone's like getting on Ellie because she is trying to do this and everything. And then when she pulls away, I felt so fucking let down. I was like, man, just fucking finish the job. She's right there. Drown her, kill her. I don't care. Do something. It was such a lackluster ending for me. Where you go from there? I mean, we saw Ellie walk into the forest and everything. I just follow her, see what she's doing. I guess you have to now look and see what Abby and what's the kid's name? Lev? It was something like that.
Yeah, Lev. I think you're right.
Seeing what they do when they go away, because you have the boat that's on the shore after you beat the game, so you're like, okay, they made it wherever they were going. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I still totally trust Naughty Dog going forward. They're gonna put out a game with amazing animations. Last of Us 2, like, no doubt had like the best animated working of any video game. Like, that's just, I don't know if you can even argue that, because the work they did was just amazing. Yeah.
When do you think we see that factions experience thing, their multiplayer experience that's supposedly coming?
Didn't they say that might be canceled?
I have no idea.
I
honestly.
feel like
There was something said about it recently.
yeah, there was something about it pretty recently. I think they were thinking about canceling it.
Interesting. I never played the multiplayer in Last of Us 1.
Me either.
So it's something I have no affinity for whatsoever, but I remember people being really hot on that and thinking it was a very cool thing. So I'm just curious if that ends up ever seeing the light of the day, or
Right now, at least this article I'm looking at is saying that the earliest it would come out is 2022.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I also feel like I remember them saying that they're working on a multiplayer thing, and it might end up not being related to The Last of Us, and it might be. Like, they haven't decided yet.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't
know.
Yeah, interesting. Give me another Uncharted, please. that's all I have.
We're
to
going
say.
to,
for
but
that too.
they decided
Uncharted
not to.
4 was
Naughty Dog
nuts.
just fucking rocks.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
All right, that does it for our main topics. Let's move on to some quick news here. Number one on the docket, Halo Infinite will have crossplay and cross progression. This should surprise absolutely no one, but they confirmed it today.
Yeah, it's the Ratchet and Clank thing again for Rift Apart. a big name doing something very forward and very consumer friendly, I think is incredibly important because it's going to open up that conversation for much smaller studios to do the same thing. So, John, you and I have talked a million times that crossplay is great, but cross progression is really where we need to move to as an industry standard. And
Absolutely.
seeing Microsoft picked it up for Halo Infinite, I totally agree. It makes sense, and it's something that you might be like, oh, well, of course it does, but I think it is relatively significant in and of itself.
Yep. Absolutely.
Isn't it so weird to think that like 2 years ago that was not a thing?
Yeah,
We were
know.
fighting
It was a rare
for Fortnite
thing,
to get
yeah.
crossplay.
For just crossplay in general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Man.
Crossplay is cool. Cross progression needs to be in everything, though. Next up,
Agreed.
Overwatch's new director is teasing one of the biggest updates to the game coming soon. So this is Aaron Keller, the guy that took over for Jeff Kaplan. I believe, Connor, you and Joel talked about this last week.
We did. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, since I'm the Overwatch nerd and I didn't get to talk about this, Aaron Keller is really cool. He's worked with Jeff Kaplan since back when they were both working on World of Warcraft. Very excited to see how he leads the Overwatch team going forward. But he did this interview, I think it was with GameSpot, where they were talking about just kind of like taking over for Jeff Kaplan, what that means for him, what it means for the team going forward. And he kind of just said that going forward, where in the past it's been just Jeff Kaplan like coming out and talking to the fans, he wants the Overwatch team to just be overall more vocal with the community and let them know what's coming out. Wants to kind of speed up like production on things, so they're really sizing up the development team. And he also teased that there's a very big update, one of the biggest ever, to Overwatch 1 coming out soon. He specifically said it's coming out soon, where we know Overwatch 2 isn't even going to be out this year. So very excited to see what this is. I've seen a lot of talk in the community about this being a potential clan feature, maybe a tournament feature. Either way, very excited, and I'll talk about it whenever it comes out. The 5-year anniversary is in 3 weeks, I believe. So hopefully it would be around then.
It's only been 5 years.
2016.
I feel like that game has been talked about for 20.
Right?
For an eternity. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
great.
people just don't stop talking about
It's
it.
so good. I love it. Next up,
I'm super excited to get into that eventually one day. When I played it for that one weekend when it was free to play, I was like, man, this is really fun.
It's so
and
good.
Then bought it and never
you
played
ever want
it,
to really
and now
get
I'm just
into
like,
it, get a hold of me. I'll play with you. Next up, we have some early Metacritic scores for 2 games coming out this week. We have Returnal, which is sitting at an average of 86, and new Pokemon Snap, which is sitting at 80. Chad, are you looking forward to either of these games?
Got both of these games pre-ordered, gonna unlock in just a few hours. Super excited.
I personally... go ahead.
I was not super sold on Returnal until I watched... There was a trailer like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and it was just like, it's Dark Souls meets the arcadey Resogun bullet hell stuff, and I'm like, get me, yes.
It kind of reminded me of that weird Bionic Commando reboot we got on Xbox 360. Did you play that?
I did not.
Oh man,
His wife is
kind
the
of
arm!
Yeah. That's the main takeaway, yes. I totally agree. That trailer they put out was incredibly interesting, and the more I see about it, I got to get my hands on it, man. It looks so freaking cool.
I'm not that sold on it. I haven't seen this new trailer you guys are talking about. I haven't seen much on it in a while.
I was the same way, man. I was like, man,
Yep.
I don't care. Another arcadey third-person shooter. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Well, now me. The answer is me. I give a shit. I
gives shit.
need to play this video game.
Yeah.
You know what sold me on it? Andy Cortez put a video out on Twitter of it was raining in the game, and then he just recorded the sound that his DualSense was making as the rain was going tick, 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 tick,
Yes.
on the DualSense, the haptics, and I'm like,
I did that with
Those guys did
Astro's
some
Playroom.
wizardry.
That's so good, man.
I can't wait.
That's just so good.
New Pokemon Snap being at 80, that's got me pretty excited. I have the original for the N64, and I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite Pokemon by any means. Like, some people absolutely love it, but very excited to give this a try, and also to see how my daughter takes to playing it. It's going to be a really good time. Next up, where am I? A Pokemon card, a founder. I'm gonna butcher this name. Tsunekazu Ishihara. I think I did it right.
Yeah.
It was sold at an auction
Touchdown.
for $247, $247,230. This is after the starting bid started out at $500, so that's pretty cool.
What do you think the when that whoever won it and they take a picture of it with their iPhone? What do you think that's going to sell for as an NFT? Just the picture.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna be an NFT.
I don't understand NFTs, so I don't know.
You literally just like take a picture of what like the shit in the toilet and you sell it online for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Really?
People are selling
Incredible.
literally selling pictures of Pokemon cards for thousands of dollars.
All right.
All
It's
I'm
insane.
saying is, how asking for a friend. How do I sell NFTs on the internet?
There's an app. There's an app.
Yeah,
is.
probably. There's an app for that. Yeah.
Next up, Respawn Entertainment have a small team of 5 people working on a new IP from scratch. Connor, well, I mean, we all love Respawn, but I think you are
It's true.
probably the biggest Respawn fan.
Yeah. I would. I'd say that. Man, it's super exciting. Okay, those guys have been, for me, one of the studios to watch over the past couple of years. I mean, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, absolutely incredible. Just, by the way, which is getting a next-gen enhancement, totally free if you currently own it. Take notes, Control, and fucking Remedy, and who's the publisher?
505
I'm still mad
Games.
about that, by the way. 505,
Yeah.
thank you. You're on my list, okay? Anyway,
Calling me the
yeah,
psycho.
so Jedi Fallen Order, very, very good. I'm a Star Wars nerd. I mean, I got lightsabers on the wall behind me. But Titanfall 1, for all of its flops and failures, was a fantastic shooter with a very ambitious heart at its core. And what we got out of Titanfall 2 just did not get the recognition it deserved. That game is arguably
phenomenal.
Yes, I was going to say that campaign specifically is arguably one of my favorite pieces of media that I've played in a very long time. And I think the multiplayer holds up, is an incredible experience too. It's
One
still
is
got a
better
relatively
multiplayer,
active
though.
community. Sure, yeah, I'm a smart pistol guy. People are going to yell at me on the internet. And yeah, Titanfall 2, very, very good. And I'm very excited to see anything that these guys do from here on forward, especially because it seems like EA has given them the like golden pass to pretty much do whatever the hell they want.
Pretty much.
Which is exactly the lesson EA needed to learn and stop forcing all their devs to use like the Frostbite engine and all that nonsense. So, yeah, real cool, man. I think that they've been teasing that they were going to work on something or have been working on something different for a while. So to get actual word on it is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That being said, Titanfall 3 win, motherfuckers.
I don't know. There
need
was
in
that
my
rumor
life.
that it was canceled, so
Yeah,
Shut
I
up.
think they said.
Shut
I
up.
think Respawn came out and said we
No,
would rather
shut up.
work on Apex than
That's
Titanfall.
Apex is trash
Therefore,
compared to
it's
Titanfall. No, it was that they were working on something Titanfall flavored for later in the year last year,
But it got
and then it got
canceled.
pushed back or canceled or delayed, but it wasn't confirmed as like Titanfall 3 or anything. So,
Well,
it,
the new
it was
legend
Titanfall 3,
in
Connor.
shut up. No, listen.
the new legend in
There's
Apex
gonna
is
be a
the
Titanfall
daughter
3.
of a pilot. So
I know, which is incredibly
that's
exciting.
probably what they were working on.
But battle royales are like so last year, man. So
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you know that
Right.
the mail came in.
Sounds like somebody hasn't ever had a dub in a battle royale.
All right.
Oh,
Next up.
I just
We'll
want you
talk.
to know I'm friends with a person who had 3 dubs today.
Ooh.
So
3 of them.
shout out to
That's
Matt Vieira.
Incredible. Who carried him?
Yeah.
Me.
Who's
He carried himself in Fortnite as a xenomorph, killing kids.
gross. You don't. We just talked about this. Don't fuck with kids, man.
All right. Next up, Microsoft are matching Epic Game Stores in 88% revenue for developers. Just another cool guy move by Microsoft. Before they had the 30% bonus towards themselves. Now it's down to 12%. So pretty much they just swapped from copying Steam to going to the Epic Game Store. Not much to
Yeah.
say
Is
there.
this
except
just PC or is this Xbox
is-
too?
Ooh, you know what?
I think this
don't
just affects PC.
Because I feel like that would be super cool if it was
know.
Xbox.
Yeah, I don't know what their revenue looks like on Xbox. I don't think they've been taking a 30% cut on their Xbox stuff, so it could be totally wrong on that. But yeah, be interested to
I
see
know
those
for sure
numbers.
it's PC. I
Yeah.
don't believe it's console though. I don't know.
But
I don't
they
know
also
the
have
number.
a
Oh, it
lot
says
of
it's
other...
PC only.
Like, they've got ID at Xbox, they've got the Game Pass agreements.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if those look way different than they used to
Probably.
in terms of profit share on consoles. So, this is a cool move, man. When do you think
Yeah.
Steam follows suit?
I don't think they do.
Whenever they start to see a dip in their player base.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think that's gonna
saying.
be for a very long
So
time.
right now, no, there's
Yeah.
no future with that at the moment.
But I mean, Epic Game Store, like, they, championed it and really pushed for it, and now you've got Microsoft joining, who is kind of the golden child right now, who can't do any wrong. When does Steam say, okay,
I feel like
let's-
Microsoft's a golden child who can't do wrong in the console space. I feel like
Sure.
they're lagging behind with Game Pass for PC. I feel
Yeah,
like no
yeah.
one uses the Microsoft Store on PC.
That's
I mean,
what
this is
move
the first
for.
step towards
It's to
this.
get more
And they're
games
also-
towards that area.
Yeah, and there's also a massive overhaul for the Windows Store platform planned for the very near future. So I think that's what we're seeing is them kind of retargeting and moving towards a place where hopefully the Xbox platform on PC is just as lively as the console platform. So we'll see.
All right, we got our Games with Gold and PSN free games on Xbox. Free games are Armello, Dungeons 3, Lego Batman, and Tropico 4.
Gross.
What a lineup.
Yeah.
Right.
And then on PSN, Battlefield 5, Wreckfest only on PS5, not the PS4 version, and Stranded Deep.
That's a hot list.
It's,
Battlefield 5's fine. You
Yeah.
play those campaigns and get enjoyment out of it. And Wreckfest, I mean, if you got a PS5, shout out to the people, all 100 people that have a PS5.
7.8 million people now.
That's wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Man.
It's
Although if
actually
you don't have a
outsold the
PS5, you
PS4.
can still claim this game.
That's
You
yes.
just can't play it yet.
Yeah, but you can add it to your profile, certainly.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
So Chad, what you been playing this week, man?
Oh, bruh. Oh,
Oh man.
So I got Joel on this box VR game for PSVR.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing it for a couple of weeks. He just picked it up this week too, and we commiserated in sweat. And it's awesome. It's the same as Beat Saber, but you're just punching shit. It makes you feel like you want to go out and do that to humans, and then you get arrested and your life is over.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun to imagine that in virtual reality. So I've been using it as like a fitness tool whenever I can't get to the gym or something like that, and it's been so far super fun for several weeks. And that's something I can't say of even like Ring Fit. I enjoyed for like a week and a half, and then I got bored of it.
Yeah.
Been playing that, sweating a lot. And then Final Fantasy IX, I've been playing that as part of my podcast, Respawning Fire. We have a video game backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends. So the last 2 months we've been playing Final Fantasy IX. I've only been playing it for like a week and a half, and it's a 40-hour game. So there's this cool new thing where you can fast forward like 3 times speed while you play it.
Yeah, I saw that
I've
in
been doing
7.
that.
That really helped me.
Yep. But I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm surprised. Like it says, it's a 40-hour game, and I'm playing it on fast forward, but I'm still only like 16 hours into it, and I'm almost done with it. So
All right. I'm not much of
but
a
it's dope.
Final Fantasy guy. Which one is 9? Is that with Titus?
9 is Zidane. He has the monkey tail, and he's in love with the princess Garnet, and her mom like destroys the whole world. And
All right. I know absolutely nothing about that one.
I think
I've
you
never
might be
played it
thinking
before
of
this month.
12, John. Zodiac Age, potentially.
Gotcha. Maybe. Like I said,
Because that one had the fast forward elements and
the,
yeah,
the
for
only
remaster.
the only stuff I know about Final Fantasy I learned from Kingdom Hearts.
gibberish, absolute gibberish. That's your knowledge of anything Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Connor, what have you
did you
been
play
playing?
the remake of 7?
What's that?
Did you play the 7 remake?
I started it. I didn't get very far in it. I need to go back and play it.
It's all right.
I have it installed
It's
on my
alright.
PS4, I think, so I could install it on my 5. I just haven't.
When you get the PS5 upgrade in June. So.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
So
You have to.
maybe I'll get back to it then. Who knows?
Good time to
Part
jump
2 won't be out for another like 6 years or so. So I've got time.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Connor, what have you been playing?
Yeah, so video games mostly.
I don't believe you, but go on.
Prove it.
No, so continuing my year-long kick of getting really hardcore back into fighting games in a way that I haven't been in a long time. I have been jumping back into a game. This is going to be fun for you, Chad. So it's a game called Melty Blood, Actress Again.
No, it's not.
Yes, I promise, I swear to everything that would make sense to you.
Melty Blood actress
Actress again. Yeah. So it is a cult hit fighting game. Okay, it swear to God it's real. But it is renowned.
Was this on purpose or was this like a bad translation? Did they purposely
Probably.
call this?
We've had this conversation. What does melty blood mean? Nobody knows. Because like melty blood can't be hot; it coagulates, right?
Right.
When you think about it, so blood can't be
I played
melty
Heavy
by
Rain.
definition.
I cauterize my wounds.
Yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. Anyway, melty blood. It's a bunch of school-aged vampires. Is the easiest way that I can describe it. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's regarded as one of the tightest and most incredibly polished fighting games. Yes, incredibly polished fighting games of the past couple decades or so. So, very good. It has online play via a community hack on the ROM that exists. So it's this super like several layers deep that I'm into this thing at this point, and I'm really just playing it in lieu of Guilty Gear Strive being a thing. That's coming out here in the future. Shout out, there's a beta 2, the sequel. Yes, beta 2. They did it. Coming out like May 13th, 14th, something like that. So that's very exciting. And yeah, it's real fun, man. The only ridiculous thing about it is that every character has like 3 different versions, and there's like 40 different characters in the roster. So it's like a million different variations, and it's very incoherent unless you're totally a fighting game ass fighting player, which is real cool. So aside from that nonsensical gibberish, I'm also playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Hold please.
Yeah.
Before we move on from Melty Blood,
Let's do it.
I just want you to know that there is a soundtrack for Melty Blood called
Yes.
All Over Melty Blood.
It is let me tell you, man, it is a ripping soundtrack, okay? It's got some banging tunes. There's like Desert City, which is real hot. You've got Witch Hollow Dreams or whatever it is. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You should check it out sometime. Maybe I'll send you some clips or something. But yeah, Melty Blood. They're making another one of those, actually. So that's the other thing to bring up, is that they're making a sequel, and it's called Melty Blood Lumina, I think is what this next one's called. So they stuck with the Melty Blood because, why not? Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is the other one that I've been playing. It's something that's sat on my backlog for quite some time, and I never got a chance to get around to, and I decided, what the heck, I'm going to boot it up, we're going to spend some time with it and just see where it goes. And I had kind of spent about 10-15 minutes with it before and wasn't immediately hooked. It gave me a lot of Souls and Bloodborne vibes in terms of being that harder style of action-based game. And now that I've played more of it, I've realized how different it is, but also it shares a lot of similarities with that genre, but in a much more accessible way. And I'm probably 20 hours in at this point, I think, and I am astonished by how good that game is. Have both of you guys played Ghost of Tsushima?
I played the first few hours, and
Okay.
I really liked the opening, and I actually liked what I played, but it was one of those things that just like I didn't get hooked. It didn't.
So,
I
yes.
was never
Yeah.
thinking about it after not playing it again.
Right. I had the same exact problem. That's precisely why I dropped off of it and really got out of it for a while. That said, a good 15 or so hours into the game, once you really start unlocking some of those skill trees and investing in the world and whatnot, it is incredible what they've done there. It is a full living, breathing world. It reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways I didn't expect, in terms of, like, you see cool place and then you go to cool place and check it out, and I love that feeling. It's something that I think the Assassin's Creed games have started failing to capture, or because everything's so generic now. Their worlds are so huge. Not everything is handcrafted. You walk into the same building in 17 different towns, a ton of different times, and it doesn't feel good when that happens. It pulls you out of the immersion. But with Ghost of Tsushima, I mean, everything is so painstakingly detailed, between character interaction, uh, just motion capture of characters and the different scenes and things you've got going on. It's hard to talk about this game and not spoil anything. um, but yeah, it's very cool. Combat's very smooth, even though it is, I think it's difficult to grasp at first if you're not a fan of that type of game. um, but it's incredibly rewarding at the same time. So once you do lock in and spend that time, I think that it's something that will hook you if you can get far enough into it. And I totally respect it. It's the same problem I had. I fell off after about 3-4 hours or so the first time, and I think it really picks up around that 15-hour mark, man. Once you get far enough to really understand what that game is trying to do, I think this is gonna end up being one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time, and I wasn't expecting it at all. It really kind of is throwing me out of my element here. God of War is probably the game that I would liken it to most, because I didn't give a shit about any of those other God of Wars, but I played that 2018 God of War. It's one of the best video games I've ever played in my life, and
Yep.
this makes me feel like I'm playing God of War again, which is real cool. I feel like a badass, man, like whipping my sword out, cutting some jugulars, shooting some people in the face with a bow, and then there's even a stupid emote that you can do. You totally don't have to do it, but at the end of each battle, you can hit the emote to put your sword away, and if your sword's bloody, he'll flick the blood off, or he'll like wipe it off. He's got like 4 different animations just for putting his sword away, and I love that shit. I think that's so cool and goes so far for me in terms of world building. And speaking of world building, it has this hub area. It's got a few hub areas that you end up interacting with as you make your way throughout the game. And whatever you do in the world, and like characters that you rescue or interact with, they'll show up in these hubs and they'll interact with you. Like, let's say I saved this one guy on the road that had bandits chasing him. He had his baby son with him or whatever. And when I went back to the shrine the next time, he was totally there, and he was like, "Hey man, thanks for saving me. Here's a bunch of supplies." And it's not something huge, but it goes a long way in terms of making that game feel like an actual story that I'm carving a path through, as opposed to a world I'm in and just inconsequential as part of it. So yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna talk more about it later once I've got more time into it. Only about a third of the way or so now. I recommend it. I think it's sweet. If you're a fan of Devil May Cry, God of War, Assassin's Creed, any of that stuff, I think this might be right up your alley.
Cool. I've been playing Second Extinction. So this is a game that was announced last May during that really crappy Xbox event that had only third-party stuff and a lot of indie stuff. Yeah, that wasn't a good show. But
Are you saying Xbox doesn't have first party?
yes.
Ooh.
But Second Extinction, this is in early access right now. It just came to Game Pass on both console and PC. It's been on early access on Steam for a while, I think since October. So we're getting a bit of a further look into it than those really early adopters did. But it's really enjoyable. It's essentially Left 4 Dead, but with dinosaurs. And you only have 3 people that you can play with at a time.
Isn't this that video? I distinctly remember making fun of this game because it was a bunch of really hilly areas with nothing else around but you and dinosaurs. It almost looked like a Nintendo 64 game in a way, where you were
No.
running around.
I think
Do you know what I'm talking about?
that wasn't that Ark game, that Ark sequel.
Vin Diesel?
Man.
Yeah, I think it
No,
was the Ark
so
sequel that you and I
I
were
do remember making fun of that game as well. But no, this one was I remember my complaint being that there was basically nothing in that world but you and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it felt very strange.
It might
Is
be.
it that same way?
Well, I mean, you choose a mission, you drop into the map. It's only one map, but it's like really giant, and it's got different regions that you explore through. And you have one main mission, and then there's a bunch of like smaller side missions you can find along the way. Like, oh, there's a nesting ground here. Collect the eggs and deliver them to us. Capture 5 raptors and send them up to us. That kind of stuff. I would say there's some interesting stuff to do in the game, but at the end of the day, it's still dinosaurs are coming at you, shoot them.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much what the gameplay comes down to. But it's a good time. Each character has their own like special abilities and everything. I'm all about that hero shooter life, so I'm all about the special abilities and everything. It's a good time. There are good.
How many people is this? Another 4-player
3.
co-op? Just like 3?
Yes.
Okay, I don't like that. I think it's weird that games do that. Shout out
Yeah.
Destiny.
Yeah, it is kind of hard.
But so I
There
guess
were
my
12-person raids in Destiny for a little bit.
unintentionally. I guess my biggest question on this is it's very clearly a Left 4 Dead clone, right? Like it is going for that genre.
Yeah.
That style of
Kinda.
game, which is fine.
It's
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
It's very different. Left 4 Dead and Back 4
Sure.
Blood are very linear games. This is an open world.
Okay. So that was my question: is what distinguishes this from the rest of that? So it's much more freeform.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like you can drop in, and yeah, all the dinosaurs. They're not like traditional dinosaurs. Everything has been mutated. So you have raptors attacking you. They're pretty much the special, or not the special. They're pretty much the common infected that you would see in Left 4 Dead. They're always like jumping at you.
Okay.
But there's different variants of them.
So this is a Left 4 Dead clone. Okay.
In ways. In ways.
Yeah.
But there's like
You're
different
good.
variants of them. There's like electric raptors that will shock you and slow you down and everything. There's poison ones. There's ones that dig underground. There's other ones that like have shield plating on their arms that you have to blast away. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is terrifying. It's like red and it's got spikes and it's a beast to take on. There's also what's the name? Ankylosaurus, I believe is what it's called, and it's a dinosaur that it's a quadruped, so it stands on all fours and it has like spikes all the way down it. But this mutated version has like even more spikes and it will like spin at you. It's kind of terrifying, but it's also really cool to see. Some really cool stuff in the game. I enjoy it, and especially being in early access, the game is a lot of fun. There are some issues with it. Me, Joel, and Kenny were playing yesterday, and we were getting booted out of the game left and right. But when it
bummer.
works, it's fun. Like I said, early access game. Go into it. If you have Game Pass, give it a try. Don't expect a masterpiece like Back 4 Blood or anything, but it's a good time. So that's about all I got to say on that. Also,
No,
Do you guys
I mean,
remember.
what's up?
Go ahead.
I've been trying this entire time while you were talking. I've been trying to remember the game that was shown off at either like a state of play last year, or something, where it is basically just chrome metal dinosaurs, not Horizon Zero Dawn, but it sounds like it's like big, like obviously made of chrome, like liquid metal dinosaurs.
I'm not sure.
No.
I don't know.
I've been trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Gosh. What else do you remember about it? I mean,
Yeah,
just
I got-
giant chrome. Is that the
It
only
was
thing
just like
worth
it had
remembering?
this metal soundtrack to it, and it was literally just somebody like running around shooting giant metal chrome, like they were obnoxiously
Arc 2.
chrome dinosaurs. But if you search Chrome dinosaur game, then you get this like little 8-bit Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, that was
Chrome
it.
browser.
All right. Well, that does it for episode 142 of the Pixel Street Podcast. Thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you are. Connor, where can the people find you?
Yeah, so on Twitter and Twitch, I'm at The Real Birch. Birch like the tree without the I, BRCH. Love to have you. Come hang out with us. You can hang out in our Discord. Join us for our Pixel Pal party nights. they're absolute blast. Honestly, the couple we've played with Jackbox games, the Among Us nights, we're always having a good time. So be good to have you over there. And if you like to hear me and my sometimes bad opinions, I don't think they're bad. They're my opinions. You can come find those on Twitter. I post on there. I also post pictures of my dogs. So I'm not like mean all the time or anything, just sometimes, especially when it's not about good things. So yeah, come hang out. We'd love to have you.
All right, and on Twitter, I am at Revic Shadows. You can also find my writing on GamePer.com. I've been writing up a bunch of Second Extinction and MLB stuff lately. That's done pretty well. Probably I'll be focusing on new Pokemon Snap probably for the next week or so here. So check out that stuff. Chad, where can the people find you?
People can find me on Twitter. That's the only social media I'm on. Chad Mike, N-S-I-N-N-I-S. But also, we have podcasts, Respawn Aim Fire. If you are not familiar, go listen to it. It's a video game podcast. We do cool shit just like these guys. With these guys sometimes.
Last week.
If you want to be, in fact, with us.
2 weeks ago?
Go to affableidiots.com. That's our website. You can be on Respawn Aim Fire. You can be on our other podcast, AAWI. And we just talk stupid shit. Also, you can come find me right now in Mint Hill, North Carolina. I'm not doing anything. So
that's
all
yeah.
Right, I'm
Do you want to just dox yourself? Put your address out there.
Open the door.
Yeah. It's 2964.
Yeah, perfect.
And
yeah,
then I want you to figure out the rest.
Yes. Can you tell me your social security number while you're at it? Yeah, no, I do want to add just to the end of it, Chad and Holden and everybody that's part of the sites over there, always doing fantastic stuff. So if you're a fan of the show, fan of the stuff we do around here, we definitely recommend them. Check out, see what they got going on.
Thank you.
Between their barf stuff, between podcasts, Chad's always incredible Twitter feed. It's a good time. So
you're welcome.
We like to support the people we like, and he's one of those people. So.
All right, I think that does it for us here. Come back next week, same time and place to check out Pixel Street Podcast episode 143. Thanks so much for watching and listening, guys. Bye!
Don't fuck with kids.
True story.